Oh. Well, I fully committed. This isn't a strength problem. It's a coordination issue. And I'm trying to figure out if this is something I can actually fix, especially at my age. I've noticed that at the lower grades, dynamic moves are pretty straightforward. Usually a big jump to a big hold, you just need to land it and pull hard. But as I've been pushing my grade levels up, these jumps are getting a lot more awkward. I need to be a lot more precise with my hands and feet, and the real tricky part is trying to coordinate multiple moves at the same time. Honestly, I'm getting a little worried that if I can't level up this part of my climbing, it might put a cap on how hard I can ever climb. I was really excited to give this first problem a try. The movement looked fun and within my ability level. But I totally underestimated this first move. I thought I could just reach and then swing later, but it turns out I need to jump into it. Here I stick it, but I slam into the wall. Not really proud of myself, but we're gonna go ahead and finish the climb up anyways. Here it got a little harder than I expected, so I had to take a second and pause. And then I realized I could flip my left hand to an undercling. All right, well, I sent that one, but honestly, it didn't feel that great. The dynamic move felt way off balance. I was late sticking my feet, ended up bumping into the wall, and I was just muscling through moves that I should have used a lot more technique. I'm only one climb into this session and my confidence is already starting to drop. This problem looked like a big step up. It had a bunch of different tough moves. Here at the start, you have to make this jump to a very small hold, catch it with one hand, and somehow not barn door off. I honestly took so many attempts to try to get the beginning of this. But I decided to move on to the middle of the problem. This part actually felt more like me. I could squeeze hard, get into a good position, and try to make my way over. Now, I did see other people trying this move a lot more dynamic, throwing and then catching the two underclings. But I was committed to this beta for me. Here we finally get it. And after I got that locked in, I was able to repeat that move a bunch of times, but I'm totally stuck here at the next move. Well, that was a lot of attempts, and I'm still nowhere near sending this problem. But there were a few glimmers of hope in there. One time I stuck my hand and it felt pretty good, and I think I've got this middle section figured out. There's no way I was gonna send this in one session. It's gonna take quite a bit of practice to dial in this first move and especially the last move. It was time to move on to the next problem, and the start move was something I had never attempted before. Okay, this green problem had me intimidated from the start because I saw one of the root setters attempting the initial dyno. I've never done anything like this before. I need to jump into the corner while rotating around and then land with a pressed hand. Here you see me trying any way around doing the move properly. Even though it was a little frustrating, I worked it a bunch. I probably put in 20 attempts, but I decided I want to see if the rest of the climb was possible. This hold is really slopey, so trying to figure out how to get my body right. Here I committed a lot better, and I was able to get the placement and then lock in this sneaky little knee bar. So that first move is just way outside of my comfort zone. I'm trying to jump into a corner, rotate my body around, and stick my hands and feet at the same time. There's just too much going on here for my brain to process and coordinate. The real frustrating part is that I've actually sent the rest of the problem. So it's just this one opening move holding me back. I'm gonna come back and work on this problem some more, but for today, I had one more project in my sights. This crimpy, powerful problem that I watched a few of my friends struggle on. I really didn't have a plan going into this. I realize now that my brain was totally shut off while I was attempting this climb. I was holding on really tight, so I was able to make some progress. even though my hands were pretty much cooked by this point. Now I finally realize I can make this beginning a lot easier. There's this undercling for my right hand. I'm already saving a lot of energy. Let's see if we can pull this all together. I think some sessions on the kilter board really helped with that move. All right, I gotta be honest, on that climb, my brain was completely turned off. I wasn't really reading the moves or thinking about what to do next. I wasn't worried about my balance or foot placement. I was just gripping these holds and pulling as hard as I could. Hey, I'm not proud of it, but I'm keeping it in the video. I'm glad I was able to actually send it, feel some reward for today's session, but I'm gonna come back and make sure I dial the beta in on this one and really get my technique down to where this problem feels light and easy. Well, today's session showed me something really important. I've got some serious gaps in my climbing, and these aren't issues with my overall strength. These are issues with skills and techniques that I haven't practiced or mastered. I'm struggling to coordinate multiple moves and keeping focused on my balance while I'm under pressure. I've got to learn how to commit to the more technical beta, climb with my mind, instead of just defaulting to pulling harder all the time. I think I'm finally realizing that if I want to keep leveling up, I can't just keep trying harder. I need to be trying smarter. So next session, when I head to the gym, I'm going to focus on being 100% mentally locked in and climbing with my mind first and my muscles second. So if you're trying to get better too, stick around and we'll see if we can level up together.